One of the questions I always receive is, how do you know what you like to do? Or like people always say, oh, I don't know what I'm good at. So I think that, to me, that's a convenient excuse. Because if you don't try, then how would you know?
Welcome to the first episode of the Magnetic Zone. So today's guest is more than just a top performing leader, he's like a big brother to me. Right, so we go all the way back to 2015, 10 years ago. Wow, from poly days, late nights studying, grinding Mobile Legends, and getting obsessed with growth. So he was the one who introduced me to personal development and investing back then, when I was still figuring life out. So I think that spark really changed everything for me. Right, so some of you guys might know him as Finance Caleb, okay, the brand we started building together. But fast forward today, Caleb Tay is a senior director at AIAFA, leading over 80 plus associates, mentored over 30 plus MDRTs, and hitting over 500k in income before graduating in NTU. Right? So what makes him magnetic isn't just the numbers, it's about how he leads with clarity, his conviction, and belief in his people. Right? So in today's episode, we'll unpack the journey, the pain, and the pivots, and the real story behind who Caleb is today. Right? So let's get it, right? Feels surreal to have you here with me, bro, after 10 years. Damn, we really came a long way and didn't expect us to be doing a podcast together eventually.
It was quite random, out of the blue.
Quite random, out of the blue.
Ryan texted me and I was like, okay, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. I really appreciate you for making the time despite your busy schedule. But anyways, bro, I think let's just rewind back in time, right? Because I want to go through the period in time whereby we first started, discovering things about entrepreneurship, self-development, and how we actually hustled together, went through lots of ups and downs, and to where we currently are today, right? So I think let's rewind all the way back to poly, right? What was going through your head back then on how you approach schooling days back then? Because for me, when I was back in poly, I was a bit lost in life, a bit happy-go-lucky. So I approached school was just study. Okay, I don't even know if I studied that much. I just really go in the flow. But for you, I always remember you as a guy that always striving to hit full marks. Your GPA is always consistently
not full marks.
quite hustling. So I was wondering what was your mindset when it comes to approaching, poly, your school back then, right? And why is that why do you think you had that drive back then?
Maybe I bring you back to before I went poly. So when I was in secondary school, I was in normal academic. So it was 5 years of studies and it was quite funny because when the day the PSLE result came out, I didn't even hit 200 points. Yeah, and at that point of time, I was thinking, where should I go to further my studies? And I had two options. The first option was to go to express stream, okay, or the other one was to go to a normal academic stream. And I chose normal academic because it was nearer to my house.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a decision that I made. Debatable whether is it a good decision. And I went to NA. So when I was in NA, I was thinking to myself, wow, actually there were about 4 express classes and 2 NA classes. Okay. And I thought to myself, I'm not even average. I'm below average. So why choose a hood? Just play and just go through life and see where it goes. So I didn't do very well, especially my first 2 years of studies. I would say I was the bottom 10 by
Sec 1
second
to
year.
Sec 2
Yeah, Sec 2 I was the bottom 10. And I had to bring back the report book or report card to my parents and they have to meet the parents. At that point of time I was thinking, wow, actually quite jialat. Yeah, I got a shock myself also. I was like, wow, really I got to buck up. Yeah, and of course I made a decision that year that I need to be better. So Sec 3, I started to perform better and I went to POA also. I had a POA streaming and I started to do well in that area. So that was what led me to Ngee accountancy as well subsequently. Yeah, so I studied a lot. I did well for my NA, N levels. It was well, but not good enough to go into Ngee accountancy. Right. Yeah, I think I scored about 6 points, but my friends who went in were 4 points and 2 points. Crazy.
Really? So low, man?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't
so 6 points, I got rejected from Ngee accountancy through this program called PFP, Poly Foundation Program.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they offered me biotechnology, if I recall. Yeah, and of course I didn't want that. So then I went for O's and I did well and I went to Ngee. So that's where I landed up there.
That's where I met Caleb as well.
Yeah, so that's where we met in Which
Year
year
one?
one?
Year
Yeah,
one?
Year one.
Yeah.
When year one?
2015, right? It's
Yeah.
really 10 years already. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's mad. But on hindsight, right, would you have chosen to go express, but to a maybe like different school?
Well, people always ask me like, what are some things that I would have done better if I can on one time? But sometimes I also believe that everything happens for a reason. If back then I chose Express, maybe I would have mixed with a very different bunch of people. My whole network would be very different. Yeah, I would have met Ryan. Probably I go to like, I don't know, JC, or like, even if I went to poly, I would have been 1 year ahead also.
Right.
So I wouldn't have whatever I have today. So it's quite crazy. Sometimes one decision that we make will impact our entire life. So I would say no regrets.
That's good, that's solid, man. So I think like back then in poly also, like when we first met, we were just like fooling around, playing a fool. But I just don't understand how when we play a fool, and then you still can score so well. So what was your like, I don't know, the secret,
What's the
work
magic?
ethic? Yeah.
What's the magic? So just a background, I always like to share that in poly, I think my GPA was about 3.97. Because
Yeah, perfect.
last sem we went to, was it with you? I can't remember.
Yeah,
we went to Krabi together 2 weeks before finals.
Oh, that wasn't with me. It was
that
in
was
a
with
trip.
some other friends. So that was the semester I got about 3.7 or 3.8, I can't recall. Yeah, which put down the entire overall GPA. But I guess I was I say academics wise, I was doing pretty well, and at the same time went for a lot of camps.
Yeah.
So I think in our whole Ngee career, I think we went for like more than 10 camps together. Yeah, many camps. And I went to 7 countries, all for free, mostly under scholarship. Furthest I went is California, and I worked in Hong Kong and Japan for 9 months.
Speaking about the Hong Kong trip, right? Do you remember when I went to visit you in Hong Kong? Actually, I don't know if you know this, but that time in Hong Kong, right, when we like hang out one-to-one for like almost the whole entire day, went to hike mountains together.
Oh yeah, when the dragon's back.
I feel like that point of time was one of the turning points in my life also. Why is because I think back then when you were alone in Hong Kong, right, you were starting on a lot of your personal development journey, right? You were like listening to a lot of audiobooks, reading a lot of cool stuff, and then just basically like, you know, working hard as an intern, but during your own alone time, you also spend a lot of time developing yourself. And then when I went there just for fun, visiting you, and then you shared with me all of these like things that you're doing, which made me go like, oh wow, damn, that's interesting. And it made me feel that, you know, like I should really do something as well, you know, to really improve myself. I don't know if you know this, bro, but
I think I know. I think you mentioned once or twice.
yeah, because literally, right, before that trip, I was just like happy-go-lucky. I really had no strong purpose. But after that trip, yes, there's no strong purpose yet, but at least it gave me a direction to like, hey, you know, why not start, you know, personal development, reading some books. And you introduced me some books, you introduced me to audiobooks, which really helped me a lot. So after that Hong Kong trip, I was just like listening to a bunch of stuff, learned a lot of things, thought it was pretty cool. And then, you know, back then we were just like sharing one another, like, hey, what we have learned from this book, right? So like some certain books I discovered myself, I thought it was good, I went to share with you, and then you also shared with me, and then it was just quite cool, right? So I think that Hong Kong trip really like, thank you, bro, like serious, like what you shared with me that time was really, yeah, I think it was quite a game changer for me back then. I think without that trip, without that conversation, I don't know if I'll be like who I am today.
Oh,
So-
that's a big sentence. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, so really after that trip, when of course we all started our personal development journey, right? We wanted to start businesses, be entrepreneurs, but we had no idea what we want to do. So yeah, maybe now we can just talk about that, right? How can we, like, you can share with the audience, like, how did we like go through that phase of just trying to figure things out, right? So for you, were you also like figuring things out, or you kind of already have something in mind, like you in your head, you already know that you're gonna do something related to finance, or is it just really like free play, exploring?
Okay. So I think that Hong Kong trip that you mentioned, I mean, building up on that, it also impacted me a lot as a person. Because when I went to Hong Kong for 6 months, I had a choice. Either I stay with a group of friends or I stay alone. Yeah. And I decided to stay alone. Because on top of everything, I also want to be more independent, like doing my own laundry and everything.
Well, guys, just to note, right, when I first visited him at his Hong Kong hostel, right, it was literally a shoebox.
Yeah, so your hand is like that. Yeah, that is the width of the room, and this is the ceiling. Yeah, so it's a double-decker room. It's very, very, very small. It's crazy small. It's very expensive also, relatively lah.
Well, it's quite crazy how we were like that back then.
Yeah, crazy.
Right. It's like I went in, right? It's literally just one shoebox space. Below is his table, and then on top is a double deck. Wow.
Yeah, it's like handicap toilet like that. Maybe handicap toilet time 1.5 or around there lah.
Maybe
that's
even
the size.
smaller than handicap toilet,
It's
bro.
quite crazy. Yeah, so I lived in that small little dorm for 6 months, and that inspired me to do more things after my intern. So when I came back, I would like research, I will go and read, I will go and whatever. So people usually ask me like, how did I pick up reading? Actually, I don't like reading. So actually, in fact, the first book that I picked up was Intelligent Investor. And
Oh my
for
God,
whoever who reads that book, you realize that cannot read one.
Cannot read one.
It's unreadable. Yeah? You'll see that it's like, oh my God, what is this book telling me? So after the experience, I tell myself, reading books is not for me. Okay, but it all changed where during one of my tram rides from my hostel to my workplace, I was just asking myself, what can I do during that travel time? And one of the things that Ryan mentioned was also, I picked up audiobooks, right, from Audible. And the first book that I listened to was Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah, so I remember that very clearly because after that book, I realized actually quite fun. Like the content was quite relevant and was quite good for me.
Yeah.
And from there, I started to just move on into different things. So I read broadly at the start, like personal development, finance, then generally we started to do all sorts of things. So one of the things I recall, I don't know if you still remember, was during NS. We signed up for a real estate course.
Of course, I remember it was the first 1K that I spent on a random.
No, I think more expensive than that. I think more
1K,
than 1K.
I think.
And
Really,
we sat on the spot. Yeah, it was a workshop that we went.
Yeah, the property.
Yeah,
How the
I
heck?
think it was more than 1K, if I recall. So one of the quote unquote like ventures that we did was like, we wanted to do more. So we went to, I can't remember what platform we used, but it was like some online platform that you can go and learn. Then we just go down for this course and we just sat there and listen. And we just decided, okay, then we signed up for this course. Yeah, and we even went JB together.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a JB segment.
Yeah. So the whole central idea of this course, right, is basically to invest in properties, not just like condominiums, but small little boutique hotels along the high-speed rail, right, from Malaysia to China. Then they wanted to build a lot of hotels so that you can have traffic. So that was the central idea, if you recall still.
I honestly don't recall.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you can recall that, but it was quite interesting because it was my first ever like 4 figures external cost I paid out of my own pocket. Right? Just because I was sold a dream. I'm pretty sure we both were sold a dream. That we're gonna become like property millionaires, but that didn't really happen.
Property investors and whatnot.
Yeah, that didn't really happen, but yeah, it's just one of the exploration moments whereby sometimes we will just try things out and it's just maybe not really for us, right? That's why we have to try different things. And it's very interesting how when we first started, it's like we were kind of like studying, going for the same few courses, but then eventually it kind of like branched out to like, we have our own interests, right? Of course, for me, I ventured more into marketing. I remember I invited you to the marketing course, you weren't very interested, but then for you, you had your own plans, right? So maybe we can talk more about that. Like, at what point do you realize that, hey, finance is something that you want to do and really just focus more about finance? Actually, wait, all along you have been a finance guy, actually. Back in poly, always been an investing guy and whatsoever. So, and in fact, right, I didn't expect you would actually explore like financial advisory. Like I thought that you'll become like some like a hedge fund manager or like work at those kind of like, I don't know,
Atas firms, bankers, private bankers, buy side.
But then for you, right, I think it was quite different. Many people, they were like recruited into FA. But for you, it seems like you already had your sights on FA. Right? Like no one actually really recruited you, right? It's you show interest, then you went to speak to some people, right? How did that come about? Like, what made you set sights on FA?
Yeah, so actually there's a whole development of story lah. One of the questions I always receive is, how do you know what you like to do? Or like people always say, oh, I don't know what I'm good at. So I think that, to me, that's a convenient excuse. Because if you don't try, then how would you know? So like what Ryan mentioned, we tried like real estate, we tried like marketing, we tried like all sorts of things.
Oh, we tried dropshipping.
Yeah, dropshipping, e-commerce, Kindle publishing, many things. We tried a lot of things.
Lost a lot of money from crypto at the point of time also.
So understand that we were in port in poly and army during that period where we did a lot of all these things. So during year 2 of poly, that was where I ventured into investments or trading. Yeah, so I was with a few friends and we were thinking to build a side income. Okay, so we started to go online and see whether we can trade.
Oh my god, I think I remember that story.
Yeah. So
oh my, please share that story.
when I decided, actually, because back then I was working as a bartender, so I was paid like $15 an hour, and I was just looking for more lah. And so we topped up some money into the brokerage and started to trade. Okay, so for those who know, I traded the Nasdaq, on leverage, on margin. Okay, but back then I didn't know anything. Just buy lor, everything will go up. Just keep buying. So I think in that span of maybe 2 weeks, collectively we made more than $10,000, which were like a lot of money for us
poly kids back then.
Yeah, for poly kids, for $15 an hour.
I recall back then when we were just like at the escalator at the mall, and then you were like, wow, now I can just buy anything I want. Like this shop, I want to buy this. Like bed sheet also can. I want to buy this. Like random ass like gadget also can. Like we were just like laughing about it because it was just so surreal.
Yeah, it was so surreal.
At this age that we could able to generate this amount of money. Yeah.
So one fine day, for those who know, the unemployment report releases on Fridays. Yeah, but of course we didn't know anything back then. We were just leveraged long. And that night that report came out, it was unfavorable. Market took a strong dip, and I was just holding. We were just holding. So we were just looking at our account size, drop and drop and drop and drop and drop and drop. And if I recall correctly, it was around after midnight. Yeah, and we had the margin call, which means we wiped out every single cent in the account.
Do you remember I was in the same room as you?
Really, man?
Yeah. When the whole thing unfolded, I was in the same room as you.
But you weren't part of it, right?
I wasn't part of the trading, investing thing that they were in, but I was updated about what's going on.
Okay.
And then I remember that time we were staying overnight at a friend's house.
Oh yeah. We were at a friend's house.
And then they were like just like panicking, and honestly I was just like clueless. I was like, guys, what's happening? Like I didn't know the severity of it, right, back then.
Yeah, so we lost everything.
Yeah.
We lost everything.
I didn't know they really lost everything. I thought they just lost like whatever that a bit of what they make lah. But then I remember that day at our friend's house. And then you were just like the mood was very solemn.
Yeah, just like
quiet. And then I was like, okay. Then for me, I'm like, okay, I just go back to studying. And then you guys are just like, yeah.
So it was then that I made the decision that I need to get good in this game. Because if I can learn the mechanics of finance, if I can learn how to invest or trade properly, then probably I would have a good chance that next time my financial future will be stable, right? With the right knowledge. And after that was really the change. So through army, I was investing a lot into courses. So whatever online courses, guru courses, Udemy, I don't know what other platforms are there. We will just go and buy and we'll go and learn. So I was like a sponge during army. Yeah. Everything absorb, and particularly in the area of finance. So that was where my interest built up even more, and I doubled down on my learnings. And I felt that I really started to really have that knowledge gap between me and my peers. Like I was ahead. So it was during army year 2, where after my OCS, I went to unit, and I was thinking to myself, actually, what can I do? Since I have interest in investments, then why not I do something out of it? I bounce off this idea with some of my friends, and I say, okay, why not I create a Telegram chat?
Oh,
yeah,
that legendary Telegram group.
So I create a Telegram chat and say, okay, I invite my friends and friends of friends who are interested in investments, okay? So join this channel. Back then, I think when I first started, it was 20 people, and I was hosting some gatherings outside. If I recall, it was like, there's one good trade cafe, which is closed down today, and went to Kampai. We were hosting networking sessions there just to expand the community. So I was just sharing my investment experience and just sharing educational stuff regards to finance. Okay, then one fine day, COVID struck.
Right.
Yeah, so the pandemic came and the community started to grow, but we couldn't meet face to face anymore. And I think if I recall, it was a few hundred people by then already. So I was thinking, what's next? How do I build a community online? And I started to pivot to Zoom.
Right.
Pivot to Zoom. So we are having Zoom webinars every single week. It was like 100 to 200 people. And we hosted, if I recall, 2 to 3 times a week, right, to share more about investments. And at the peak, it grew to 2,000 plus members. And after a while, I felt that it was there's a lot of upkeep that was needed. Like people, like FAs coming into my channel and post like recruitment and all these things. So I was quite annoyed. honestly. Yeah, and
Okay.
people spamming, asking people to buy certain stocks, why it's good, because it was an open channel for communication.
Open channel.
Yeah, so at that point, I was thinking, how can I translate all these skill sets into a career? Yeah, and of course, when I went to NTU, I had a scholarship with UOB, just that I didn't feel that I really wanted to pursue corporate back then. Yeah, so when I look left and right, I want finance, I want to quote-unquote run my own career with no boss, then self-employment was the one that I went towards. And in self-employment and in finance, there's only one. So I thought to myself, wow, FA. FA. My biggest thought then was actually there's quite a bit of stigma.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how do you overcome that stigma?
Yeah. So when I first thought about that, then my immediate thought was that, wow, actually this space got quite a bit of like not so good reputation. And when I spoke to some of my friends, some of them questioned me and said that actually my academic background not too bad, and can go NTU, subsequently I can do many things. Then why FA? That's a common question that I normally get. So at that point in time, I told myself, I give myself a chance. Okay, I don't judge first, okay? Whether I can overcome that stigma or not, I don't know. Okay, so at the point of time, I started to look at different insurers. Yeah, I just started looking for agencies who can support me in this growth. So in totality, I went to 5 different directors. So I spoke to 5 different directors, asked them what they could offer me in terms of their agency, their systems, their culture, everything. Okay, and of course, there were many differences. And of course, there are some key things that I look for in an organization. A few things will be number 1, culture, a replicable system, and of course, mentorship, a mentor that is relatable. So these are some of the things that I was looking for. And of course, subsequently, I made a choice and I moved into this role.
Right.
Yeah, so that was during first year of my NTU studies. I was a full-time student and I was a full-time advisor.
Yeah. I think one thing about you is just that wherever you were, like when you were building the community back then, I recall it was just really out of passion, right? Like you really just said that, oh, I just want to have a group of people with like-minded values and everyone to come together. It will be so cool, blah, blah, blah. Like you were just excited about this idea and back then you weren't even like in NFA yet and you were just building up all these things just because you want to value it to people, which I thought was very interesting, right? Like for me, I'm like, wow, you went through the whole effort to do weekly Zoom seminars just for fun.
Yeah.
But it's really like,
pro bono.
Yeah, it's really just something you did for fun. So I think you eventually managed to build from there, and then of course it kind of benefited your FA career as well. So can you just share with us, like when you first started as an FA, right? How was your first year like?
Well, I started during NTU year 1, so I was balancing between school and work. I think that is one of the biggest challenge of a student advisor.
Yeah.
Year 1 was great. I did my MDRT in 3 months, so that helped me to create a head start. And of course, I started to do recruitment in my first year as well. So by the end of first year, I had about 10 advisors and also did my MDRT lah.
First year, 10 advisors. Damn. Was it something that you originally planned to do, like building teams? Or when you first choose to join this career, is it more of like just like, oh, I want to, of course, like maybe service clients, focus on sales? Like, do you expect yourself building a big team, doing like leadership stuff?
So I think it's a good question, and my answer is, before I joined the career, I knew what I wanted. Okay, which means I asked myself, how many hours do I have in a day? How many days do I have in a week? How many weeks do I have in a year? Yeah, and one word will come out, limited. So as much as I want to do everything myself, the impact will be limited. So before I even joined the career, I told myself recruitment and management is something that in any business that I go, in any career, I would like to be in a managerial role. So that was at least my mindset. How big and everything, how fast, I don't know. But I knew that I wanted to be in this role one day. Okay, so when I first started, of course, my advice is always understand the rules of the game. Today, when you play football, you need to know where your kick is out, where the person can run to.
Yeah.
If you don't know, then this game will just be funny, like you don't know how to win this game. Okay, so like in financial advice, there are rules in this game, right? There's a sales advisory path, there is a recruitment and management path. And exactly what do you need to do at every step of the way to promote and to this and that. At the start, I told myself that I need to be clear of these rules so that I know how to quote-unquote play this game.
Wow. Damn. So do you expect yourself to grow to a team size like today?
Honestly, no. Because when I first joined the industry, I look to my left and right, and I look at what typically people do, right? Typically we say, oh, normally people take how long to promote?
Yes.
3 years, 5 years to promote, or normally what's their team size? 5 people, 8 people, 10 people. So that was the norm that is like, oh, things are like that.
It's like usually people take years to build a team of 10 and you did it in your first year.
Yeah.
So that is just like, okay, to me it's like crazy numbers. So to you it's like you were just, like is there any strategy behind it, or is it just like, I don't know, like what's the magic behind all this?
So I would greatly I would contribute. The biggest thing that I contribute to that was definitely the investment club before that. Because the investment club created positioning for me, it created and expanded my network. Okay, so some of the people who went for the webinars, they knew that I was a finance guy. I had that reputation already back then. So it wasn't tough for me to break into this FA market, to acquire clients, to get people to join. Yeah, and if you ask me what is really the gist of that investment club back then, was good branding.
Good branding.
Right, so branding of course helped to create certain outcome for my first year. So a lot of times they'll say, wow, in 1 year, how do you do all this? Some things are not done in 1 year. From 19 years old all the way to 23, that 4 years, I was just reading, I was just giving value, I was just doing everything.
Right, you're upskilling.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was paid $0. But in my first year, when I quote unquote had that overnight success or over year success, then people say, wow, actually, wow, Caleb can do this and that. But that's not true. Yeah, it was through many years.
Actually, that's true. Like, before you even joined FA, before you actually got your cert, you were already hustling like crazy to build up your brand as a finance guy on social media, right? You were already investing money to build up your brand on social media before you even got your cert. And that is like, I don't think that's what many people would do. Some people might even find it crazy. But you remember the quote, crazy people
get crazy results.
Get crazy results. Right? So like, I think that is what most people don't see behind the scenes. Right? Like, you know, for you being able to hit those crazy numbers at your first year, MDRT in 3 months, but actually all of the work is being
done before
way
that already.
before that. Like even the branding, the community, everything is all built before you got a cert. And it was being done out of passion back then. So I think all this is a very good transition, which I think helped to really kickstart your journey as a FA leader. So I'm thinking like, after going through that, right, was there any point in your journey, right, whereby you feel that, because you start off very well, right? Most people, they don't have the luxury to start off very well and they will face a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges. So maybe for your side, your journey might be quite different. Was there any point in time whereby you feel that, oh shit, this part is just difficult, it's challenging, it's tough, and I don't know, maybe it made you feel like giving up?
This is something I realized over the years. A lot of times, the challenge itself is not the challenge. Okay, it's how we view this challenge that is the real challenge. Okay, in other words, the obstacle itself is usually not the problem. The problem is how we view this obstacle. Because this obstacle can be a small obstacle, but if with the right skill set and mindset, you can easily overcome them.
Yeah.
But for some people, this is the same obstacle, but they can almost never overcome them in their lives. So I would say for me, the biggest challenge that I faced was with myself. And that was something that I had to acknowledge, I would say maybe towards after the second year of my career. So my first year I did well, second year I did well. And after a while, I just thought to myself, is that all? Like, just do lor. Just acquire clients, recruit, help them do well. So that challenge that I had it became a bit boring to me. It was just, it felt like I had to just go through the motion.
Right.
And I lost that drive that I had when I first started.
Yeah.
So I guess in every entrepreneurship journey, in every business, in every career, there will be days or months that you feel like you're at a high. There will also be months that you feel that you are at your lowest.
Right.
So I would say after I did my second MDRT was the time where I just was, well, in a bit of a limbo.
How do you overcome that limbo then? Like what do you do to, get out of that quote-unquote rut that you were in?
I always believe this, that self-awareness is a very, very, very important skill set. Because the higher you progress in life, there will be lesser and lesser people to tell you how you can improve. It's like one day when you become a very successful founder, people will come to you and say, "Wow, Ryan, how do you do this? How do you build this and that?" Hardly anyone will come and tell you, "Ryan, what are 2 areas you think you can do better in?" Like, no one will have this kind of conversations with you. So as I grew in my career, I also told myself I need to be very aware of what are some of my blind spots. Okay, and one of which is very common is being comfortable.
Right.
That means actually if I just do what I do well to acquire clients, to build, it will happen. The question is, do I want more?
Right. So actually, there are a lot of people in the same industry as you, right, who has built their career to a point whereby they feel comfortable.
Yep.
Right. Maybe they hit their first MDRT, they start to have a team of like 3 to 5. Honestly, that's already decent income. Yep. Comfortable enough, right? But for those people who are feeling comfortable, or maybe back then you were feeling comfortable, what made you still want to push for more? Like, why is it important for you to push for more?
It goes back to why I even made the decision to join this career. Okay, so I always ask people, if you want to have a stable income, I think fresh grad today, they are paid quite well. Yeah, like 4,000, 5,000, that's the average monthly salary. If you want to do okay, 5, 6 to 8K, I think corporate serve you very well, together with the employee benefits and everything that they give you, guaranteed. And I ask myself, if today I don't even match what I can get outside, but particularly back then I had a UOB scholarship, which means that I could likely have a fast track, I could command possibly a higher paycheck, then would I be fair to myself? So that was the question that I was asking myself back then, which is, if in corporate I could make 100,000, let's say, okay, and over here, if I just match 100K, okay, then would I be doing myself a favor? And why did I even join this space in the first place? Right, in self-employment, of course, we want to do more for ourselves, for the people around us. Yeah, and so going back to the root of why I joined, and along the way, because of my clients, because of my advisors, I owe it to them. Right. But I owe it to these people. When I bring somebody in, literally this person becomes my responsibility. And if I cut myself slack, if I stop working, or if I start to be comfortable, then am I being fair to the people that I bring in?
Right.
I think it goes back to that. Right, rather than why more. It's not that I'm chasing more income, but I think on a fundamental level, am I doing the right things right?
It's a lot about your own responsibility as well, right? When you bring people into this business, right, there's a dream, right? And then it's about how you can guide them towards a dream. So actually, I'm very curious, because when it comes to your career, right, there's many different things. Some people choose to focus on the sales side, the product knowledge, and then as the managerial side, you have like recruitment, you have leadership, stuff like that. So actually, out of this whole entire broad, like, things that you need to do in your career, what do you think is the most challenging?
What's the most challenging? When I first joined, they told me this: if you think sales advisory is hard, recruitment is 10 times harder. If you think recruitment is hard, management is 10 times harder. Because for your personal sales advisory, it's 100% controllable. Okay, for this month, I tell myself, okay, I want to chiong. Okay, I want to find more clients. It's on your own responsibility, on your own energy and motivation to go out there. How about recruitment? Recruitment, if really you want to help this person, but this person don't want to help themselves, what can you do? Right, then you want to expedite, but you can't.
Yeah.
Because you are now not the variable. There are more variables now in the picture.
Right.
Okay? And when this person subsequently join, then you realize that they don't join with all the positives.
Right.
Okay, I always like to say 9 out of 10 times when an advisor look for me, do you think they come and tell me, oh, Caleb, I just closed a very, very big case, I secured a very good client and we had a good relationship? Or do you think likelihood is people come to me with their problems?
Problems.
Yeah. More often than not, 9 out of 10, they will come and say, wow, recently I feel like this, recently I got rejections, recently blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's not just even career problems, it can also be personal problems.
Right.
Yeah, with their family, with their loved ones, that affect their mood, their momentum, everything. So from A to Z, sometimes you will play a coach, a role of a coach. Sometimes you will play a role of a therapist. Yeah, it is literally like broad, everything. Yeah, right. So if you ask me what's the toughest, then surely management will be the answer.
Management. Management, I believe you have to manage not just associates, but you need to manage leaders.
Sure.
So I think first of all is like how do you find leaders who wants to build this with you? Yeah.
So when someone joins, I think first we gotta ask ourselves, how are we leading these recruits? Okay. So there are 4 categories of quote unquote leaders. Okay. First one is a mother hen. Okay. That means Ryan, when you join, okay, I will teach you everything.
Yeah.
Okay, every step way, you let me know whether you are happy, whether you got any challenges, I will be sure to help you. When you fall down, I will also be there. Okay, when you want to do prospecting, I also prospect beside you. When you face rejection, I will help you to reply them. Okay, then that is a mother hen. Right, second group of quote-unquote leader is a friend. That means, hey, we brother. Okay, you come in, we chiong together, we do well together. However, if you just lead like a friend, there will be times where you will face challenges. For example, let's say today you run a meeting. Then Ryan's my brother. Then he say, hey, Caleb, wow, CB jam today. I'll be very late. Okay, yeah, you start first. And every time it's like that. And just because he's my friend, I give him a benefit of doubt. Like, never mind, take your time. Okay, then how would my other teammates view me as a leader? Then do you think there's a chance that my team will also start to be late because Caleb is okay with it? So that's the trouble of leading like a friend. Okay, third group of leaders are managers. That means they meet you. How's your sales? How's last week? How's last month? How many appointments do you have? Oh, why not you prospect more? Why not you do this? Why not you do that? Yeah, so they track numbers. They are very business-minded, business-oriented. And for some managers, they see you like a figure. You're a MP, you have manpower in that organization.
Right.
Yeah, and it's more transactional. And last but not least, the last group is leaders. Okay, leaders lead, leaders create leaders. So when I first joined, of course, I didn't know all these concepts. Yeah, at the very start, I was playing a role of a mother hen, I was playing a role of a friend, I was playing a role of a manager. Everything, all mixed, rojak like that. Yeah, so of course, along the way, things change. After I upskill myself, go for external courses, I learn. Then today, I've sharpened many things along the way to reach where I am today.
I think when you first started the business also, maybe even now, there's a lot of friends that join you, right? So when you're talking about the second type of manager, right? Like the friends, I'm pretty sure you also, I think those examples that you give are real, right? Real life examples.
Legit.
But how do you transition? Okay, first of all, how do you make sure like those friends, how do you overcome this problem whereby the friends will just be like, not taking things seriously, and then it might also potentially affect the friendship that you guys have? How do you like overcome that? And how do you make them transition from being, from you being a friend leader to a leader?
Yeah, so that's a good question because at the start of your journey, probably most people won't be playing the role of a leader at the very start.
Yeah, it's just us figuring things out also, usually at the start.
So they just bring in, bring, then we'll see how it goes from there. So I would say a few things that I've done right. First one, definitely is, in Chinese, is this word called fu. Fu means, do your people look up to you? Even as a friend. Because if you're that kind of friend that you're always late, you always don't deliver, you don't do what you say. Okay, and now in work context, you become their leader, quote unquote leader. Yeah. Then for this group of people, probably they will find it hard to respect you.
Right.
Okay, so even as a friend, I tell myself I need to be ahead. Okay, when I bring in my friends, I tell myself I need to create that, I call it value gap. That means today when they are learning products, for example, I need to be learning more than that. I need to be, I have to put in double the amount of hours. And that was something that helped me as well because I had people chasing behind me. Imagine today you're running and there are 5 lions chasing behind you. How fast will you run? So I literally felt that I was in that position. I was running and all my friends were strong players. Yeah, so they were also chonging, but I had to chong more, I had to do more. So that also helped me expedite a lot of my learning process and growth and everything. And of course, if you're ahead, generally speaking, 他们会服你. Right, they'll feel that, okay, at least I can learn something from you, there's value.
Right.
And of course, second thing is along the way, you have to manage expectations.
Right.
Okay, so for example, when let's say you're a friend, you're a dear friend, like brother for 10 years, and you're late, and you're consistently late. You see, if today I just say that, never mind lah, Ryan is like that one, or like all the boys been like that, it's okay. Question is, will I be doing you a favor or not? Right? If I just let you be like that, chances are you will have this behavior outside also. Like in your appointments, in important events, you will show up late and everything. Then, am I really doing you a favor, even as a friend? So, I learned this thing, which is having tough conversations along the way.
Right.
Especially with my friends, because I care.
Did that cost you any friendship?
Luckily, no.
Really did it well?
Luckily, no.
Yeah.
I guess it's not about the what. Right? Most of the time, it's not about what. It's not about whether you should have these conversations with them. Answer is yes. Question is how. How do you put it in a way such that they feel that you are putting their interests first? At the same time, you want the best for them. Not so much of it's for your own agenda. For example, hey Ryan, don't be late or not. Because if not everybody will wait for you, then then I cannot start. So if you say things like that, you are not putting their interests first. But another example will be, Ryan, you are one of my first few advisors, and as a friend, the whole team knows that you're like a brother to me. Sometimes before the meeting starts, people will ask like, hey, is Ryan reaching?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know Ryan, but actually your presence makes a huge impact. And actually these people are looking up to you. So in that case, won't you think that all this reputation you have built up over the years, it will be a pity if, let's say, because of your late coming, then people view you otherwise. Yeah, so as a friend, as a mentor, as a leader, I want to make sure that I let you know of this issue. Probably you already know, right? Just that I got your back. I want you to know that of course, every time this happens, as much as I can put in good words for you, there's also a limit to that.
Right.
Okay, so can you help me to help you?
Help me to help you.
Yeah, so I guess it's the how you do it such that they feel comfortable, and at the same time, they know that you have their best interest at heart.
Right. Wow, that's really profound. Like, the way you frame it is different from what people usually do.
That's like what's in it for them.
Yeah. Right, that's an important lesson for us leaders to take note, yeah? Right, but actually what do you think is the key factor for you to grow to 80 plus advisors today? Because for you to hit 80 plus in 5 years, right, is it one of the fastest? Like pretty damn fast, right?
Yeah, I will guess so, generally speaking, compared to other teams.
Yeah, so what do you think is the main reason of this speedy exponential growth?
Well, I guess there are many parts to it. It's not like you do one thing, then you get there.
True,
people always ask me what's that secret sauce. But it's like a whole platter of things that you must do right. From day one, of course, is your mindset. And I acquired all this mindset when I was 19. Okay? As I read books, I realized that in life, we are a summation of all the decisions, all the choices, and all the interactions that we have. For example, my parents will tell me, Caleb, if you cannot do well in this, go and study hard to get good grades so that you can get a good job and get a good pay so that you can settle down, you can be stable. So that was what I was ingrained with since young. And along the way, I had to change that mental model. Okay, so first I would say it's mindset, which is you need to have a mind shift. Okay, if not, you'll be stuck in your own mental model.
Right.
Okay, so you have to break out that first. So I guess that is one of the ingredients. It's just like a soil. If the soil is weak, is poor quality, and you put a very good seed in it, what will happen? Right, likely speaking, is probably grow a bit, then you'll probably die off. Yeah, so your mind is like the foundation, is like the soil. Okay, so once that is done, of course, the next part will be with the right mindset. Generally speaking, you will have some drive or higher drive compared to the rest, and you will be hungry to learn. Okay, so in my first few years, I learned as much as possible. Everyone I meet, I learn. Okay, whether is it a senior, whether is it a peer, whether it's a client, I learn from their stories. I absorb their experiences so that I can grow faster. Because the more exposure you have, generally speaking, you become better. Okay, so of course that's on the knowledge, on the skill set front. Then of course I have Ryan to thank. One of the reasons why I joined AWM was because I felt that we were leaps and bounds ahead, right, of a typical agency. What do I mean? I asked myself back then when I was making that decision, when I was talking to 5 directors, should I join a company that is doing cold call, that is doing roadshows, versus today if we have technology, I can leverage on social media platforms to build. Okay, in the long run, where do I think the market will head towards? And the answer was clear, which is I needed to be on social media platforms. So when I went to AWM back then and I saw what my mentor Wilfred was doing, it was very clear to me. Right, he had good social media branding, and I didn't even know Wilfred personally. I knew him through Instagram. And that was when I told myself branding in the 21st century is definitely more important than 20 years ago.
Right. What would you say to advisors or leaders who are still stuck in the comfort zone of not willing to put themselves out there? Maybe to them, they have been operating their business organically, traditionally.
Yeah, sure.
And then maybe when it comes to the idea of social media, branding, digital marketing, I don't know what else, right? And to them, it's just a very foreign idea, very new, and then it's just path of uncertainty,
Sure.
right? What would you say to this, like people who just don't believe in branding?
When some people join me at the very start, they ask me, Caleb, do I need social media to succeed? The answer is no, you don't need.
Yeah.
You don't need to. However, with that said, social media today becomes an additional source of lead generation, an additional source of resume. Take it as an online resume for yourself. I give you 2 advisors. Advisor A, no social media background. Okay, purely do traditional business for advisory, for recruitment. Everything is word of mouth, traditional way. Advisor B, also do their activities at the same time they have some form of branding. Okay, in the long run, in terms of let's say referability, let's say today Ryan wants to refer me a client or refer me a candidate. Likely, the candidate will ask Ryan, so who is this Caleb guy? Can you share more with me about Caleb? Ryan just has to, oh, this is his IG page. Oh, this is LinkedIn. Oh, this is his whatever. And the person will see for themselves. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. Okay, and sometimes it also set up as a pre-frame for the person before they go into the meeting. It's like today, if you are meeting the president of Singapore, will you go in with shorts and slippers? Likely not. So that online resume, that online branding surely creates the edge for the advisor compared to someone that has no branding. Okay, so in short, you don't need branding to succeed. However, branding can give you the edge. And especially so in a competitive, in a quote-unquote saturated, in a crowded market.
Right.
If you have branding, don't you think that it will help you create that edge, and that edge could create more results?
I think most people, when it comes to doing branding, they often feel stuck of like, oh, I don't know what's my branding. I don't know what is unique about me. I don't know what interesting stories I can share. I don't know who can I target, right? So for you, maybe can you share like what is, how do you figure all this out? Like, you know exactly who you want to target. You know exactly what kind of stories to pull out, to share, to inspire others. I think all this can eventually help to build out your branding as well. Yeah.
Sure. So to start, I like to use healthcare industry as an example. Today, if you want to be the best surgeon in Singapore, do you think you just graduate and you get there? No. Likelihood is probably you serve in hospitals. Likelihood you become a GP. So I see myself at the start, as a GP, general practitioner, which means I learn everything first. Okay, at the start when I start social media, I just do everything. I don't know what market I want, what kind of content is good for me, I don't know. So I just, whatever that comes to my mind, I think I can share that people will find interesting, I share first. So if you still recall, last time I was doing like some book reviews, things that I learned. I was sharing my personal story on entrepreneurship. I was sharing why I became an FA. So I think all this was just generic content like GP that I shared. Then of course, along the way, I knew what I wanted to quote unquote specialize in. Then I became a specialist. I started to build on a certain route, maybe penetrated into the student, fresh grad market in terms of branding, then built my broadcast list. Then I knew what I wanted. By the start, I was as clueless.
Right. Because it's clear that what you're building right now is a team of very young advisors.
Yes.
Right. You are mainly recruiting people who are fresh graduates. Right. So, what made you want to focus in that niche? And does it like concern you like, oh, if I were to focus on this niche and then I won't get any other like people to join me, right? If I were to focus on fresh grad, then I would be missing out on mid-career, I'll be missing out on existing advisors, blah, 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 right? Like, you know, what made you choose that direction?
So one of the ways that I share how you can handle a saturated market is by finding your niche.
Yeah.
If today you create a restaurant, for example, and you sell everything, you sell Thai food, you sell Chinese food, you sell Indian food, right? Different cuisines.
Confusing, bro.
Yeah, like Al-Azhar. Even Al-Azhar has a specialization.
Yeah.
But assuming today you offer all cuisines in one restaurant, okay? Well, that could be a niche, actually. Okay, but the question I'd like to ask is, have you seen a chef, a Michelin star chef, that can cook very well in different cuisines?
Nah.
Yeah, probably not. They normally specialize in one area or one market.
Right.
And for me, I have decided that I want the fresh grad market because number one is relatability. Right? Because I mean, depending on where you are in your career, if you're in your 40s, in your 50s, I don't know if you really have that energy or you will want to deal with a fresh grad. Because fresh grad have a fresh grad problem. Yeah, so you have to motivate them, you have to go through a lot of things. Student got student problems. So I knew that very well, but I wanted that market because of relatability. Yeah, and of course, second thing is because of what I've done, I feel that I have the blueprint to bring them to where they want to go.
Because you start off as a fresh grad
exactly.
as well.
So that also became my niche. So whatever niche that you have, whatever success stories or whatever journey that you have been through, in fact, that is your edge. That is your competitive edge that you can double down, and you should double down to create and amplify that brand. Today, if a 40-year-old were to work in my agency and ask me whether they can join me, frankly speaking, I will more likely reject this person than bring this person in.
Right.
Because I ask myself, when I bring this person in, first of all, am I doing him or her a favor? Based on the culture we have, based on the systems that we have, can we support their growth? That's the first question. Okay, second question is, how about the integration? Right, when they come in and you see a bunch of, quote unquote, in their words, kids running around in the agency, are they okay with that? Yeah, and from our perspective, to integrate with a 40-year-old, it also takes effort. So end up, we could be in a situation that is a lose-lose.
True.
Yeah, so today, if you want to attract all the markets, in fact, you could also put yourself in a position where your imagine your pipeline, you have a fresh grad coming in, a student coming in, a mid-career coming in, and a pre-retiree coming in.
All sorts.
Yeah, imagine you have that. It's a good problem. However, how will the culture likely turn out to be?
Yeah, there are sometimes when I speak to people also, they have like a team with very mixed backgrounds, mainly because they recruit from cold methods. So from cold methods, you get all sorts of people.
Sure.
And then usually when I ask them like, you know, how's the culture like, and it's just hard for them to identify.
It's hard because they are in different phases of life.
Right.
A fresh grad will want to have fun. What do you think about pre-retiree? They probably just want to chill.
Do you think your niche will evolve or change as you guys grow older? Maybe because from what most people might think, right, targeting fresh grads, if you grow older, your relatability drops.
Yeah.
Right, so do you think that will you also be focusing on this fresh grad market, or do you have plans to like, you know, transition?
One word, adaptability. What has worked today, if you think will work next year, the following year, the year after, then you will likely be dead. Because in this world where things are moving so fast, if your recruitment strategy is always constantly the same, right, highly likely one day it may be overused or it just doesn't work. So we have to adapt, we have to change with times. So the short answer to that is yes, things will surely change, right? As I progress, of course, used to do mainly student market. Now it's more of fresh grad, more mid-careers, some existing advisors. Moving forward, probably bankers, mid-careers, existing advisors. Yeah, so I don't know how it evolved, but surely things are evolving.
Right.
Yeah, and in recent months and years, you have also have more of such population, right, of people coming in.
Right. I guess it's more of like seeing how things are like right now. What's the best way to move forward to scale the agency? So what's next for you, Caleb? Like, you know, now that you have built a team of like 80 plus, like, do you still have? Of course, I believe you still want to grow more, right? So what's the next milestone for you?
You know, the crazy idea I had when I first joined the industry at the age of 23, I told myself, I think one day it'll be quite cool if I have 1,000 advisors.
Ooh.
And why 1,000? Because it just sounds good. There's no real reason, okay? And I told myself, why not achieve that by 35? So since then, that was a very audacious dream that I had. And why recruitment, which is what I shared just now, how many hours do you have in a day? How many days do you have in a week? So if you want to create impact in this lifetime, wherever you are, which in every industry that you're in, you surely need people to do that. You can't do it alone. You need a team. You need a good team. Yeah, so I guess that is one of the bigger goals, to have 1,000 by 35. But along the way, something shift in me. It's not just about the numbers anymore. It's not about just recruiting for the sake of it. Because when you recruit someone, if you're a leader, you will know that not everyone is a good fit for this industry. You may bring in someone that gives you 10 times more headache and subsequently leave in 6 months.
Just because you want a head count.
Yes, correct. Then, is it worth it? So of course, as I progress, one of the things that I heavily focus on now is to manage the quality of the advisors. Okay, if they are not doing well, I would have a conversation with them, because I'm sincerely concerned whether it's sustainable for them to be in this career. Okay, and of course, before someone comes in, I even, as an agency, created an exploration program to see whether they are even a good fit for this industry.
Right.
Before they join. Okay, and in this assessment phase, we have every right to let them know that perhaps they should be looking elsewhere, other agency, because they are not good fit in terms of values, ideation, anything. Right, so that the people that we bring in are of a higher quality.
Right. So yeah, what kind of like values do you all strongly look for when it comes to a highly qualified candidate for your context?
Okay, I mean there are many, but if there's one thing, then surely it would be drive. Why? Because when they come into self-employment, they are not working for someone. I'm not their boss. Okay, I'm a partner. I'm a senior that has walked the path. I will show you, maybe you turn left or turn right when you go in front. Right? However, they must want to do it themselves. So the last thing that I want is I bring in advisors that need me to babysit them. Then it becomes very draining for me, and that is a very low value that I can offer them. Right, so I would say drive is at the top of the list.
Noted on that, drive. So, all right, I think as we wrap up, any final things you would like to share to, you know, aspiring leaders out there who is looking to build a team, or existing leaders who, you know, it's kind of like having a stagnant growth, but you know, trying to hit that breakthrough. Like is there any like just last words, advice that you'd like to share with them?
Okay, maybe I share by sharing with this story. Manager versus a leader. Today you're in a forest. You're in a forest, you're like busy finding your way out of that forest. Okay, and you're busy fighting fire, you're busy putting out fire. Okay, and it's a very messy environment, very chaotic, very high paced. As the manager, they'll be thinking, how should I proceed and move forward to get to my destination? Okay, they are focused on that journey. Okay, however, when you do that, sometimes you could be too microscopic. That means, are you really doing the right things? Okay, they are just in the game. They're just working hard. They're putting in the hours. But when they get there, they realize, the result is not what I expect. Leaders in the crowded forest, what do you think they'll do? They will actually climb up to the highest tree
To see.
to see whether are they first in the right jungle. Okay, and to see the big picture of things and decide, okay, in the general direction, are we moving in the right pace, the right direction? If yes, we continue. When you do this assessment, sometimes you realize, more often than not, you could be moving sideways, or you could pivoting really even without knowing. Yeah, so in this context, work smart. Don't just work hard. Working hard today is not sufficient, if you ask me. Working hard today is by default, right? In every career, especially so in business, in self-employment, you have to put in the hours.
Right.
But the question is, are you putting in effective hours? Okay, so if you climb to the top of the tree, you look at the big picture, sometimes what it also means to you is, what is that 1 to 2 choke point that you have that will create the exponential growth for you? Okay, for let's say producers, for advisors, some of them could be just procrastinate lesser, change my environment. These 2 things alone could create a 50% growth. And for leaders, they have been some of them have been doing the same system over and over and over again until it becomes a legacy system already.
Right.
But like I said, if you don't adapt along the way, this system that has worked 5 years ago may very well not work this year. So I guess you got to identify what are the possible choke points, review them, get perspective from a few people, preferably people that have experience, to give you some comments, some feedback. Then from there you adjust. And once you get over that choke point, most of the time, the way ahead is clear.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much for sharing today, Caleb. I think whatever you shared today was really, very value-adding, super profound, and I believe that definitely the audience would, get a lot of value from it. So thanks so much for your time, right?
No problem, bro.
Solid.
Happy to be here.
And yeah, if you're tuning in and building something on your own, I hope this episode gives you the clarity, the inspiration, and also the direction of what you need to do moving forward. So moving forward, we'll be inviting more guests like Caleb, right? To share more about their experiences, their journey, their stories, and hopefully more to come to inspire you guys. Right, so if you guys want to look out for more, just subscribe, follow our page, and we'll see you in the next one.